Hello everyone, my name's Karel, or you can call me Kila. I would like to appreciate all the support from all my previous video. I'm really appreciate the kind words from the good people, from the fan and from the subscriber. I really appreciate it. And today, for our video, what we're going to talk about is how can we change our clothing from a MetaHuman to the other clothing of the other characters, for example. So as you might know, MetaHuman only have a few set of clothing, but we might want to be unique. We might want to use certain character model clothing that we own so that we could switch to it. So today the video is all about that, and hopefully this will help you a bit. All right, let's get started. First of all, we need to set up everything to get ready before we go into the meet. So let's start and launch the UE5 early access. Let's create a project first. Alright, so we load, and then now we want to create a new project, maybe a blank game, and then we're gonna name it to demo MetaHuman clothes. And then we press create. Cool, so now we got this created. What we want to do next is we want to get the project ready before we do anything. So since we're going to start content all the time, maybe we'll create a level first. So maps, and then create new level. Let's do an empty level. Alright, so and then we want to go to project settings. And then we want to go to the startup map. So we want to devote startup map to be the map that we just created, but we didn't save it yet. So let's save it first. Save this map to be MetaHuman. Alright, so we save as MetaHuman now. Let's go back to the previous one. Press screen. Now we got MetaHuman, and then now we could save. Control space, save all. Cool. So next thing we want to do is we want to import the MetaHuman to our project through Quickscope Bridge. Unfortunately, if this is the first time you're gonna use it, you're gonna log in for your new project. So I'm gonna just do this quick. So now I log into my account, and as you can see, I'm able to see this logo over here, and able to choose my MetaHuman called Monkey King. It's created through the previous videos, and you guys can go back to the MetaHuman Beginners series to go watch it if you want to create your own too. And then I chose high quality, and for the setting we don't have to change anything, and then we just press add. Alright, the next thing we want to do is we want to enable the missing stuff in the project for the MetaHuman. So we want to enable this, and also enable this. Yes. Alright. So we're supposed to restart now, but before we do that, I actually want to add a extra part, which is the ARKit. So Apple ARKit, Apple ARKit face support, and then I'm going to press restart now. So now the restart has been done. I'm going to go to see is my MetaHuman actually created. I got my BP Monkey King. Let's double check. Alright, and then we go to viewport. Cool. So we did have our MetaHuman character imported correctly. So let's have a look on the further distance. The LOD went off. So let's put 0 over here and then press compile and save. Cool. So since we're going to use Monkey King with our new character, we will probably need to create a new blueprint later. But before that, let's import the other character so that we could get a new clothing and new body for our MetaHuman. So let's go back to the Epic game. And then we're going to go to the marketplace this time. You know, in the story of Dragon Ball that I really like, the main guy in Japanese called Son Goku-san. But in the art story, it's actually based on a Chinese art story, and the actual name is actually called Son Wukong. So when we press Wukong as a name in Unreal Engine, we're actually able to find a character, and we actually able to create the Monkey King we want in our project. So I actually want the outfit over here. For your own project, you could find other character and import it and do the same thing. The theory is the same. You just need to see the actual situation of character. Sometimes it's easier, sometimes a little bit more complicated. But this character is a old character, so it's probably not as easy as the new character. But if you follow this tutorial and understand what's going on, you should be able to do your own. So we're going to choose add to project, and I'm going to show all product, and then I'm going to choose demo MetaHuman clothing, and then I'm going to choose the version as 4.26 because that's the closest we have, and then I press add to project. So for this character, actually have a license that you can only use for Unreal Engine, but in our purpose, we're gonna only use it in Unreal Engines anyway, so we don't have to worry about anything about it. Alright, we got the Wukong imported to our project, so let's have a look. Yes, we got the folder here, and we're going to check the character to make sure it's actually in. Cool, we actually get the character blueprint in, and I'm going to check the mesh. So what we want to do is we want to create an extra mesh actually. So I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to say as Wukong MetaHuman. Alright, so I'm actually create this, and then actually going to double click this. Cool, so we get Wukong and it actually looks really good. What's the next thing we want to do is we want to take away the head from the body. So how can we do that? We want to go to the level details. I mean the LOD 0 sections. And then when we look at to the body part, we could extend here a little bit. So first of all, we don't want the face, so let's have a look. Alright, so this is the bad situation. I mean, it's a situation that your face is not only the face but also the hand, so we have to deal with this later and create a mask for this. So we'll just ignore it for now, and we'll take away the part first. So this part will be for the eyes. So we right clicked, disable, and then eyelash disable, eyeshadow disable, tear duct disable, wetness disable, seam hair. If you don't know what it is, we could highlight it and have a look. It's on the back of the hair, so we don't need that because we have our own hair. And then tail is fine. We don't want teeth and a tongue. And I think that should be it. No. Oh yeah, so we don't want the hair because we have our own hair, right? So at this point, let's save. All right, so we save this. The next thing we want to do is we want to take away only the head. So this is a little bit complicated. So let's see. So there's two cases. One case is we could directly export the texture out from Unreal Engine, but there's one more cases for certain asset. Unreal Engine don't allow us to do that. So we need to see which case this is. So let's go back to the face material and let's check the material. So for now, what you're actually usually looking for is the place have opacity and the mask. So something here, but certain value is not here. So then we might have to change the parameters so they accept opacity mask. And then over here, we have the actual texture, right? So we just have to look for this. If you're lucky, we were able to do a set action and then choose export, but in this case, it don't work, unfortunately. And this is not an image file, so we have to do something about it to get the file. If you're lucky, you could just export it directly on your character, but if not, you have to do a further step that I'm going to show you guys. So let's do it. All right, so we have a map over here, but what I want to do is I actually want to have a cube created. So I'm gonna put a cube over here, shapes, cube. All right, but what I actually want is not the cube, not this cube, but actually this cube. So I want to change the material to the face texture that we have. So we want the skin, we have the skin over here. We want to go to the material and then we're able to see the Wukong face. And I'm going to duplicate it in case I'm going to change anything on it. So I'm going to choose Wukong face, MetaHuman. So that we know we duplicate this for MetaHuman. And I'm going to save all. I'm going to save this. Cool. So we have the new material now. And I'm going to choose it over here. Monkey. Oh, I mean Wukong. And face. And we have the Wukong face MetaHuman now. So after we choose that, you see the cube actually get the material we want now. The next thing I want to do is I want to bake this out. So I'm gonna go asset and go bake out materials. Usually if we do the actual baking, you might have to bake out the normal and other stuff. But for now, for this case, we only need the diffuse because we only want to create a mask. So next thing here, I'm gonna create a 4K texture and I'm gonna bake this out. Cool. So let's have a look. Where is this? Alright, so we actually bake into the basic shape location, but we actually don't want to be there, so we're gonna go to the bake folder and then let's move it over there. So this and this, and then we're gonna put bake, and then we're gonna move there. All right, so we got this. So we got the texture now, which is great. The next thing we want to do is, so we don't need this right now since we got the image now, and we don't have to save this. So I'm saving everything outside beside of that. Actually, I don't want the basic shape get affected. So I'm gonna discard the change on the basic cube. Well, actually, it doesn't matter. So let's edit this again. I'm gonna reset this. I'm gonna save this. Go back. All right, so I'll just reset the cube so that it don't get affected. But you can change whatever you want. The next thing I'm gonna do is I got the image now, right? So I'm going to show and explore. I mean, this is the texture, but we cannot do anything about it because it's a UA asset. So what we want to do next is we want to export this. Now, if you go asset actions, you're able to export it. Magic. And what we want to do now is we want to go here and create a new folder so they don't get influenced. I'll create a reference or just export folder. And then I'm going to put this here. I'm going to remove this part, it's freaking long. And now, if I go to export, I got the TGA file. What I want to do is I'm going to open in Photoshop. All right. So by locating the image, all you can do try and error. You can draw things on it just to check which part is which part. But by looking at this, I can already see here's the head and here's the hand. So it's kind of obvious. So in this case, I would need to mask out the hand to be white and then the head to be all black because we don't need the head and we want to mask it out. All right, so I'm going to choose the magic wand. You can use GIMP or even you can paint it yourself just using the Microsoft Window Paint. It doesn't matter. Whatever works for you, that is fine. But in my case, I like to use Photoshop. So next, I select this part and then I'm going to invert select it so that I select what I want. And then what I want to do is I'm going to choose minus over here. I want it to be white here and anything outside of that to be black. So I don't want this part. Oh, shoot. So don't forget to press Alt. Cool. So now I got this part select. I'm going to save the selection so that I can use it again. I'm going to use it as the hand part. And then I'm going to put a new few layers, choose solid color, press OK. And then I'm going to choose white. And then I'm going to go back to the root. I'm going to press the low selection hand. And then I'm going to inverse it. And I got the other areas that I didn't use. And then I'm going to choose new few layers, solid color. And then I'm going to choose black. And press OK. Ta-da! We're done. Easy, right? So press save. And then I'm going to save it to the export location. and I'm going to export the PNG file. This time, you could just export in the export location, or you could just go direct to Unreal Engine. I kind of like to export the actual result to the direct location, so that when I want to change it, I could just go back. So I'll just put in a bake. Let's see. Let's make it simpler. Wukong face, MetaHuman, mask, maybe. So let's save it. Cool. So now it will detect it, and we say import. So next thing we want to do is we want the able to mask it. So we're gonna choose the mask option over here. And after we did that, we want to go to ML skin. In your case, might be varies, depends on your shaders, on your materials. But where you're looking at is always this kind of structure: opacity, material, base color, roughness, specular. So, but the input parameter, what I want is the opacity mask. So I need to go to ML skin. And after I go to ML skin, you see opacity mask is actually here, but we cannot access it. So I'm going to modify this program a little bit here. I'm going to copy this, copy and paste, and then I'm going to plug it in over here, and I'm going to change the name to opacity mask. And I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to close this. All right. So the next thing I want to do is I want to put in my mask image. So for my mask image, now you can see opacity mask over here, right? So now I just need to pull my mask image over here that we just imported. Let's move it a bit, and then I want to pull the, because it's a scalar, so our GB is 255, 255, 255. So we need to, we don't have to do everything on it. Just putting the owl should be good, because the white is 255, 255, 255. All right. So let's see what it works. Great. So now certain part have been hidden. So press save. Alright, so go back to the Wukong MetaHuman, and hopefully... Great! Yeah! Oh yeah. Awesome! So we got things hidden. We don't have the head anymore. Yay! But the hand disappeared. Oh no. So the next thing we want to do is this. Again, this is a complicated cases. Your case probably is easier. You don't have to do this. You probably just have to turn off disable, and then it's done. And but I'm in my tutorial, I want to show a more complicated cases so that people actually understand what's going on, and then actually able to fix a complicated model in a simple way. So again, there's a long way to do it, but this is the way that I think is easy. So the next thing we want to do is for the hand. So we want to go to hierarchy and go to hand instance, and then we'll find out this hand is over here, and it's masking the thing that we don't want because it's referencing the parents. So what we want to do is we want to reference the original parents over here. Remember, we duplicate a model called Wukong face MetaHuman, so we could just choose this, and then we choose save, and then if we close it, choose it, ta-da! We got the hand. Awesome. So we want to save this. Want to make sure we save everything before we move on, because in Unreal Engine 5 and MetaHuman, it's both two things. It's really easy to crash. So now, great, we got this done, but we're not done yet. We want to go back to skeleton tree. I mean, go to the skeleton over here. and then show retarget option. Have a look on retarget manager. Awesome. In most of the Unreal character, we don't have to do any special setup over here, so which is really convenient. And then we go to skeleton tree. I want this part to be skeleton. Cool. Actually, not this part to be skeleton. I want the part that from spine 1 to be skeleton. The pelvis and root is fine. The tail is fine to be animation. I want the thigh to be skeleton. And then I want the thigh out to be skeleton. And then it looks good. So and then I press save. Cool. So we got the MetaHuman setup done now. What we want to do next is we want to remove this cube. We don't need this anymore. What we're gonna do next, we want to set up the MetaHuman that we imported. So let's duplicate this. Let's call it BP Monkey King Cloth. Cool. So we have this. Let's have a look on the viewport. Cool. So it looks good. But what we want to do now is, let's double check the LOD is fine. We want to remove all the clothing. So I'm gonna press delete. And then for the face part, what I want to do is go to the body, and then we want to change the body to be the Monkey King body. So Monkey King, not the face mesh, but the Wukong. MetaHuman. Cool. So we got this. So this couple problem over here. There's material problem, and then there's position problem of the face mesh not matching the body, and then also maybe the area over here is too much. So let's fix the material first. So if we look back the material we have earlier on the Wukong MetaHuman, we see torso, hair, hand, lower body. So let's see, hair, hand, lower body. So this is probably torso, right? So what's the name again? And Wukong torso. So let's change it back. And Wukong torso. Great. All right, so I change it back. And the next thing I want to do, let's compile and save. The next thing I want to do is I want to change the position of this. So they go here. So we can go here first, because right now the pose don't seem matching. We could go to the event graph over here, and then have a look on the any graph, and then go to the cache pose. Alright, so we have to choose use the mesh pose, and then I'm gonna save, compile and save this. Alright, compile and save, and then let's have a look on the BP. Cool. Alright, so we have the head in, but we don't want this part definitely. So what we want to do next is we either do the same thing we did earlier to create a mask, or we could actually either use radical gradient or linear gradient to hide these things over here. So let's have a look. So if let's have a look on the mesh itself, the material, and then we want to go hierarchy and go M head. Cool. So we actually find, remember I mentioned like usually there's things, something like that in the shader. And since we want to mask those part, we're going to choose mask. And you can see there's the opacity mask option over here. All right. All right, so the compilation is done. What we want to do next, of course we can create mask through the skin, or we could use this. So this is called the gradient functions that we could use. There's two things we use for. One thing is the radial gradient exponential, so we could create a result like that and mask things out. And the other thing really useful is the linear gradient, from the top to the bottom. So the bottom is the white and the top will be black. That means the top will not show, but the bottom will show. But think about it. For our head, actually it's the other way around. So we need to flip this out. Right? So what we want to do is we want to do gradient. And then we want to choose linear gradient. And then what we want to use is the V gradient, but we want to flip it. So it will be 1 minus X. And then we put it to the opacity mask. All right, let's save. Alright, so what happened next is what we want to do is we also want to set the opacity values in this material. So we could just press opacity mask, check it on, save, close again, double click again, and this time it is on. I'm going to choose 0.22 because I think that would be the good ratio. In my case, you could do try and error. You could change the number, and then you should be able to see your MetaHuman. The neck will change accordingly over here. So let's go back to the ta-da. Alrighty. Cool. Cool. It's really heavy right now. Let's save everything in case it crashed. Alright, so I want to turn off my Photoshop too so that it don't eat any of my RAM. Alright, so we done this part. I don't think we need to go here anymore. We modified the M head. We have the face and an IP done on the cache, on the mesh position. You see now is hidden over here on the neck part. For the more details, like if you want to do it more clear, you could change the position and then you could mask it out yourself too, like what we do earlier. Alright, so we got this thing now. We don't need the Wukong MetaHuman. We don't need a face. Would you like to apply the changes of the modified material to the original material. Camera. Do we want to apply the change of the modified? Sure. And then I want to close the Wukong skeleton, and then we're gonna save all. Cool. Cool. And what I want to do next is I want to see it. Alright, so let's go here and go to the MetaHuman. King. Boom. Ta-da! So let's press play. Cool. Yeah. Looks pretty awesome, huh? Cool. And what I want to do next, and why don't we apply what we learned from the first tutorial we did on MetaHuman. But this time we do it in UE5. So let's try it out. So BP over here, I'm going to turn on my life link face, and then I'm going to hopefully it go up. Alright, it's went up, and I'm going to press play. Alright, yay! That's right, man. Oh yeah. You see my body? So sexy, right? Alright, joke. Okay, let's do the other thing. Alright, since we have the MetaHuman done, what we want to do next is I want to divide Wukong to have multiple of him having the idle motion. It's like he's divided to a different part of the body. So let's try it. So first, the inside of the BP over here, I want to choose the idle motion in default moving, and let's test it. When I play it, it is in default moving. And then what I want to do next is I want to copy this. So I'm going to copy this to the second one, and then copy this to the third one, and then I'm going to play this. Alright. Oh, great. I actually move. I actually divide myself. Great. But if we actually just do that, it might be a little bit low. So I'm going to move it to the back. Actually, it's too back. I'm gonna move it over here, and I'm gonna move it over here, and then I'm gonna divide this to a different animation. So let's see. Let's see what we have. We have idle AOCC. What's this? Let's have a look. All right, so that didn't work. So I might actually want. Let's see, what do we have for idle motion models? Alright, so let's choose this part. Didn't work. I mean, front end pose. Cool. And then the other pose too. Sleepy. and then for the body. Let's do cast, and then copy this again. Copy this again. And then I'm going to do something else too for fun. I'm going to do cast, and then for this body I'm going to do to compact more addictive. Cool. So let's see what this will work. This will be really interesting. Play. Ha! Take this, Frieza. Aha! I divide myself. I divided myself, man. Got this. This is really interesting. Alright, so I hope this video would give you some fun and help you out a bit. If you like this video, please press like and subscribe. Have a great day, guys. Cheers.